We'll call the meeting to order and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to remind everyone that we are live streaming the board meeting this evening, so I want to welcome those who are joining us via the web, also those who are in the room. We'll start with a motion to accept consent agenda items. Motion by Earl. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Pat. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. Next, we'll ask if anyone is present who would like to speak to any item that is on the agenda or any other topic. She's not going to talk?
My mom wants me to introduce myself, so I will.
Well, stand up, please.
Hello.
Introduce yourself.
My name's Autumn. I know most of you. I'm the director of Main Street. I just wanted to come say hi, offer if you guys ever need anything from Main Street. One of our goals this year is to really include kids in anything that we're planning. We have some fun things in the works, like maybe a student board and all those things. So I just wanted to say hi. You can find me at the Main Street office if you ever need anything, and my email is director@North Vernon Main Street as well. So, thank you.
Well, thank you, Autumn, for
you.
coming and speaking up. We appreciate it. Sometimes it takes a little bit of guts to stand up and speak up. We love community participation within the school corporation, so absolutely will be, I think, a great partnership. We'll make sure to reach out, and you as well. Reach out to us if there's something that we can help with.
Definitely, yeah. We have the solar eclipse coming up as well, so we'll have some glasses if anyone needs them. You have to sign a waiver, so I don't really want to give them to schools necessarily, but if there are any adults that would like some, you're more than welcome to come get some from me.
So for those who don't know, there might be an opportunity for us to do some education coming up. The solar eclipse is going to be happening on April the 8th. We are in the total eclipse pathway in Jennings County, so I think it's very important to understand safety, meaning healthcare. The glasses are a great thing. Autumn did share again that you can pick up glasses from your location at?
So we're at 50 Short Street at the Main Street office, and then along with the solar eclipse, so Main Street got a $10,000 grant for it. So we're having like a community science fair. We're bringing in scientists from IU and Kokomo. And then we have some people that are volunteering their time to come do projects with the kids as well. So that is on Saturday and Sunday. So nothing is taking place on Monday because I don't want to be liable for any people's eyes. So you guys can come see me at the Main Street office on that Saturday and Sunday. So that's the 6th and 7th.
Great.
And we'll be sharing information through our newsletters at school. We're
excellent.
Coordinating with Autumn to do that.
Yeah, perfect. Great, very good. Well, thank you again for coming. Hanging out with us this evening. We appreciate that. Anyone else who would like to speak with any item that's not on the agenda? Hearing none, then I think we have some visitors. We do.
We have the JCMS Cooking Club. They're going to be our showcase for this evening. And it looks very promising.
It does.
Come on in. We can make another row so everybody can get in there.
Yeah.
Good evening. What have you brought to share with us tonight?
We have brownies with peanut butter icing. We have cookies with Hershey Kisses on top, toffee bars, and butterscotch cookies, and chocolate chip cookies, I think. And oatmeal cookies.
Are you okay with them going ahead and passing out?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, guys.
Wow.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
No,
looking that up during the meeting.
Right?
Here's hers.
Okay, that's good. Very good.
Thank you.
Very good.
Oh my goodness.
While you all are here, do you mind telling us a little bit about your club?
We meet once a month, and the time is after school to 4:30. We meet on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Some of the foods that we've made during cooking club is spaghetti, pizza. We've made toffee bars that are inside your guys' containers, and we've made brownies, and we've also made a couple different options that I don't quite. And they're all gluten free.
That's not true.
Hey, that's okay. I bet they're calorie free too. Thank you.
We have one student that is gluten-free, so we have one kitchen set up for gluten-free.
Awesome.
Very interesting.
Do you guys learn about food safety in this club too? Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah. Every other time that we have practice, which is once a month, B team is on Wednesday, A team's on Wednesday, V team is on Thursday. Most of us, I'm pretty sure, are B team, or all of us are. And every time that we have it, it switches from dessert to main, so we change it up every time that we have club. And it's really nice because after we make the food, we all get to try a little bit of it, and if there's leftovers, we get to take some home.
That is nice.
And we get to customize it kind of to the way we have it. Like when we had brownies, we had like butterscotch pieces that we could put in it. We had sprinkles we could put in it. We had nuts that we could put in it. Yeah, white chocolate chips we could put in them.
Any of you interested in culinary arts in high school? Yes? Well, it's going to be nice and brand new over there before long.
Sparkly new kitchens, right?
Yeah.
These are delicious. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you.
If you've not met Mrs. Ratcliffe, I do want you to know this is their sponsor, and she's fantastic.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
sharing your talents with the kids, with our kids. So,
I
thank
can
you.
vouch for her. She was a fantastic little girl, too.
I need to come to learn how to cook some of this. Tasty.
Thank you all. Thank you.
We forgot. They have all the recipes. We forgot to pass them out.
Wonderful.
I would need to join the club. Not much of a baker.
Thank you.
Good seeing you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's brownies.
Who's not? Oh, it's not.
Which one is the?
All right, we'll continue to work down our agenda. Next, under old business, we have some Neola policies. Nikki?
Yes, asking for approval. I'd like to take these as a group, if that's okay.
I think everybody's had an opportunity to read them. Do I have a motion to accept the Neola policies listed? Motion by Mary Lynn. Do I have a second?
Second?
Second by Pat. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. Next, some Neola policies under new business.
Just a next set of Neola policies for our first reading. Just reach out if you have any questions. I'm happy to help.
Perfect. Next, under programs, we have the JCHS esports program request.
Yes, and we have a presentation tonight. So we have a request to start an esports program. Other high schools in the area, and I believe I won't steal their thunder because they're going to share some info, have this type of program, and they would like to share a proposal about starting one at our own high school. So, Mr. Roller, if you'd like to introduce everybody and get started.
Yeah, so first of all, one of our English teachers that is also very interested in starting our esports program, Mr. Keenan Castetter, is here with me. I apologize, he didn't get my email to bring cookies. This presentation is going to be a little less than the last one. But no, and I will give him some time as well. But he came to me earlier last semester and had this idea of these other schools have these esports programs. It has become major business for professional esports athletes, for colleges that are offering scholarships in esports, and looking to find a way to give another opportunity extracurricularly to our students. We actually, in November, took a trip over to Mitchell High School to look at their esports program, got some information about how they run it, and kind of put together a little bit for us to talk about tonight. First of all, the whole idea of what we're trying to do is to start out with a club here in the spring of 2024, if this is something that the board would approve. We would begin competing in exhibition matches. You kind of have to start as a JV team, if we look at it in athletics, and start that way before you're put into full competition, with the idea of becoming a competitive esports team in the fall of 2024. We would be a member of the Indiana High School Esports Network. It is a network of about 100 Indiana schools competing in esports. Some of the local ones around us, Columbus East has a team, South Dearborn, Franklin County, Scottsburg, Salem, Mitchell, Columbus East, Greensburg, North Decatur, along with several others. The really cool thing I do want to point out is in the pictures, the IHSEN, the state championship, is held at Ball State University every year in their kind of esports arena. So it is a competitive thing that leads up to that. So what is esports? It is the idea of competitive video gaming that can span various game types. And if we want to talk about what games they are, that's where I'll throw it to Keenan, because I don't have all of the knowledge with that as well. But real-time strategy games, first-person eliminators, multiplayer online battle arenas, and like I said, it's amazing if you've not followed along. Almost every professional franchise, whether NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, and NASCAR, has an esports division that they actually have athletes. Even locally, Sam Morris, that is an alumni from Jennings County High School just a few years ago, was a esports driver for Hendrick Motorsports in NASCAR. So this is something that, even though it's not in my realm of what I understand really well, it is something that the kids understand really well. Go ahead. So the IHSEN is organized a lot like other types of athletics. We would have competition days. These kids would get the opportunity to compete against other schools. There would be a state tournament again that would lead up to that. Some of the games that you'll see there: League of Legends, Overwatch, Rocket League, Fortnite, along with NBA 2K, Madden, iRacing. Am I missing any, Keenan?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I can't recall.
Okay. So again, and the really cool thing I want to say about this, the high school aspect, when we went over to Mitchell and talked to Dr. Comer, they really built this as a true team. They follow their Panther code, their athletic code. Students have to have grades to compete. They even at Mitchell had their students do 30 minutes of physical activity prior to playing to keep them active and doing things. So there's a lot of ways to organize this and bring things in that it's beyond just playing video games. So if you go ahead. You've got teams and leagues. There are coaches that also help. Like I said, Keenan is looking to be the coach. They will work through teamwork. In some of the multiplayer games, they will work through strategies, problem solving, critical thinking, and a lot of those STEM elements that we're talking about. And again, similar to traditional sports, there are playoffs and championship events that we will get to. Educational and personal development, again, STEM learning, critical thinking, scholarships. Almost every college has established their own esports team, and most are offering scholarships in esports. I pulled this off. This is the Indiana esports logo, but almost every major university here in Indiana now has an esports division that they're competing in these. Social benefits. I think this is probably the biggest one. A lot of times, this group of kids that really are drawn to this aren't always they don't experience a lot of social aspects. They game, they play online. This brings them into that teamwork. Another really cool thing that Dr. Comer shared with us at Mitchell, their first year they had 19 kids that came out for their esports team. 18 of those kids had never been involved in another extracurricular. So they'd never been in athletics, had never been in a club. So 18 of the 19 kids, it was the first time they had been involved in something at school. It allows kids of all ages, ranges, abilities to be able to compete together. And it fosters a sense of community among the players and those that are supporting it. So what do we need? We have identified a space in the high school already, a room that we would retrofit to be able to get the computers, the necessary infrastructure for the team. And again, why? This is rising in popularity faster than probably anything I have seen. And the pathways for careers are opening up. Game development, professional esports athletes, event planning, running these leagues. The really cool thing I should have said when I went back to the IHSEN, if you search for high school esports leagues, there are several of them out there. Most of them cost a hefty fee to join. There's a hefty fee to get involved. The IHSEN is completely ran by volunteers here in Indiana. It is geared towards high school students, and there is no upfront fee for us to be a part of that. So we researched several of those and felt this was the best way to go. And the conclusion is that this is a modern and inclusive approach to extracurricular activities. I think it has always been a strong stance of us at Jennings County High School and the school board as well to find ways to offer as many opportunities for our kids as we can. And like I said, this is not one I know very as well as others, but it is one that I think is very popular among the kids. And I want to be sure to say that there's so much more that goes into it than simply playing video games. There's a lot of that teamwork development, a lot of communication skills that our kids don't always have, talking to one another and how they work together, that comes out of this esports. Keenan, I said I was going to bring you in as the closer.
In conversations I've had so far with students, I don't have access to all of them, but I do a lot. We have kids that are very interested. We have kids that aren't really able to participate in physical sports, either by neurodivergency or physical disability. IEN also has a unified team, so we can bring some of our less able students in to play with some of these teams. We also have identified potentially an all-female team to start rollout as soon as we can. There's a group of senior girls that really want to get into it. I've reached out to some recruiters at the collegiate level to see if we can get them moving with that and moving with some scholarships as well. So we're very excited.
I would mention funding-wise, we've kind of started calling it the Panther Promise, that as we're trying to work through the strategic plan and increase opportunities we're offering to kids, that is one element that we could potentially use ESSER dollars to help fund the equipment that they need to get started. So we could potentially do that through grant.
Can we hit this real heavy on the PR, on newspaper and radio, and go in and sit down, because I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, and that's one thing I know that when Keenan came to me, it was really important that when we build out the space for them, that we make it a really unique and special space to showcase what we're doing. And we've been in a lot of talks. Keenan has seen the room. There's going to be some work for us to go in and make sure that it's up to par to what we want to be. But it is going to be, it has the ability to be a really, really cool thing for us to showcase.
questions?
I know the other excitement, if you don't know what iRacing is, I do know iRacing better than a lot of the other games. I know that there's a lot of kids on our Black Cat racing team are excited about the opportunity of us having iRacing, because then they can train in the winter as well, without having to go outside and race go-karts. Any questions from you guys?
So I think this is listed as an inform, but just reading the room, I don't know that there's a reason for us to wait to vote on this. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and ask for a motion to approve the esports program. Again, this is a club request for spring of 2024. So do I have a motion? A motion by Earl. Do I have a second? Second by Pat. Any additional discussion or questions?
Yes, and I'm hitting it at the right time this time.
Thank you. Thank you for following the rules.
I would rather wait, because if we bring them back, then I think Mr. Roller is promising some food.
Kevin? I need another closer.
I think we could probably get the food without holding the vote.
It's not what you have to delegate things right here.
And technically, Marilyn, there's already a motion on the table.
You asked for discussion.
All right, any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? We have a 7-0 vote. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for your passion to bring something new on behalf of our kids.
Of course, I was excited to come home and teach. I didn't think it would come with this, but I was excited.
We appreciate your passionate energy.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right, now that I've just messed everything up, I'm so sorry. I'm not really, but again, under programs, we have a second item. These are the 23-24 results-driven accountability data.
You're
Not as
following
exciting
up
as
cookies and
esports.
clubs
I know.
and a data presentation.
Now on, we go first, and then the exciting stuff comes after.
So just updating you on our results-driven accountability scores from our special ed side. If you want to go to the next slide. Just to refresh your memory, we are in the medium size school corporation, which is 2,501 to 10,000 students. And how our scores are divided is they take all 100% of our school corporations in that number, and they break it up into 20%. Each get 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So as you see our scores, then you can kind of see where we fall in that criteria.
Then when you look at our score calculation, they're gonna look at some different things. One of those, graduation rate, and then we look at the different parts. These are the breakdown of our scores. So between the least restrictive environment, their school age, and all of the iLearn and iRead scores, and then the participation in our IAM alternative assessment. All of that gets all of our scores. So when we start looking at this, a 5 is the highest possible score, and you can see when it's the percent of students with disabilities that are performing at approaching proficiency or higher. In math, we scored a 3 with 31% of our special needs students. And then in English language arts, the approaching proficiency or higher, we scored a 2 at a 26.2. And then if you look at the iRead, we scored a 3 as 55.4% of our students with special needs taking iRead and passing. And then the alternative assessment, you get a 1 if you have anything over 1%. 1% is the goal. So we had 1.3%, which takes into effect we have a large population of severe, moderate students who need to take that alternate assessment. So we got a 1 because of the over 1%. When you look at some of the weighted stuff there, the iLearn, the median student growth percentile, so it's our growth on iLearn, math, 49% showed growth, and English language arts, 43%. So if we look at that, it scored a 3 and a 2. Again, it's all in comparison to what other schools our same size scored. And then the graduation percent of students with disabilities that graduated with any diploma, 71.8% graduated with some form of diploma, and that scored us a 2. And then our LRE code, which is 50, our 50 code means that they're spending 80% or more of their day in a gen ed classroom. So they're getting the majority of their instruction with their general education peers. And so we had 83.8% of our students in the gen ed classroom, 80% or more of the day, and that got us a 4.
So then looking at last year's scores compared to this year. So for math, last year we were at 29.1% passing rate. This year we were at 31%, so we did go up in math. We went from a 2 to a 3. Last year in English language arts, we were at 30.3% and a 3, and we did drop in English language arts to a 26.2%. Looking at growth from last year, so in math we had 40%. Last year we jumped up to 49%, but stayed in that 3 range. And then in English language arts, we had 41% with a 4 last year. We actually went up to 43%, but we dropped down to a 2. And again, it's a moving target because everyone's scores are changing. So even though we went up, we did get fewer points.
Then with iRead, kind of that same thing. In 21-22, with the percent of students proficient on iRead, we were 75% scored a 2. Now if you look at this, our score looks lower at 55.4%, but we did score higher because in comparison to the rest of the state, we were still higher than 40% of that. And then the alternative assessment, 1.3 last year, 1.3 this year, we stayed at a 1. When we look at the diploma designation in 21-22, 58.3% graduated with any type of diploma, and we scored a 1. And in 22-23, 71.8, so that was a nice little jump there. And we scored a 2. And then the LRA code, 92.9%. So we got a 5 last for 21-22, and then for 22-23, we did drop a little bit just based on student needs and them needing to be out of the classroom maybe for some more intense interventions. So we did drop to a 4 with 83.8.
So this next spreadsheet just shows over the last 3 years our change. So it gives you a little more information than we've gone over in the past, or gone over in the previous slides. So there are 2 other areas that we're graded on. Our other area is compliance, and that is making sure that we have all of our reports turned in time, making sure that we don't have any, oh, that's data, sorry. So compliance is making sure that we don't have any disproportionality. So looking at expulsion rates, looking at suspension, do we have any population? Are we suspending more special ed students than our general ed students? And we were not found to be out of compliance in either one of those areas. And indicator 11, that is the children that we're meeting the 50-day timeline for. We are compliant in all of that. Number 12 is our Part B, so we're having our conferences before our first step students are turning 3. We were compliant in that. And then for transition conferences, we were not in rotation, so we did not receive a score for that, but we will receive the score next year.
And then when we look at our data, this is us turning in all of those reports on time and getting everything turned in the way the state wants it. We had 5s in every area. Everything was timely turned in, and so we got full points for that one. Thanks to wonderful secretarial staff that turns everything in. And then if you look at the meeting the requirements of our index scores here, this is just our total for compliance and data submission, we're at 100%. And then for the results index, which is all those iLearn scores and everything else, then that's looking at, we were at 52, so 152 would be what we are. So we were in level 2.
I don't know if this slide got into your packet, but these are non-scored results. So this is data that they pull and look at, but it doesn't go to our RDA score. So the first one is our IAM math score, our percentage of passing the alternative assessment. And we had 69.2% of our students taking IAM were approaching proficiency in math. 73.1% of our IAM students were approaching proficiency in English language arts. With the SAT proficiency data, we had 4.4% in math, and these are just students with special needs. And then in evidence-based reading and writing, we were at 11.1%. With closing the gap, so closing that achievement gap between our students with IEPs and without IEPs, both of these scores last year were about 34%. So we did close the gap in math. We are down to 29% of a difference between our students without IEPs compared to with IEPs. And English language arts, we did drop down a little bit. We're at 33.5%. And then the last two are our preschool codes. 11.3% of the students that we provide preschool support for are in a general ed or private preschool, and 79% are in our special needs preschool.
And then with special ed enrollment, we've talked about this before, that we are going up. This goes from 2018 to our current. While total enrollment has been dropping, special ed numbers have been increasing. So for our 2023 December 1st count, we were at 1,091, which puts the corporation at 28.76% special ed.
How does that compare with the rest of the state?
The goal is 420. We are not the highest, but pretty close.
We have historically been high too.
We are working with the Indiana IEPTA Center to look at our evaluation process. Is there anything that we need to adjust in that? We're also looking at other areas that we can provide, if it's with tier 1 interventions, tier 2 interventions, things like that. But
catching the kids before they get referred to special ed is the key.
Of course, I hear that we're bringing them from other counties because you're good.
we do have a lot of move-ins.
We have had several move-ins, but
Yeah.
Explain, it seems kind of unfair, the 1.3 who take the test.
because those are the ones with our most severe
I'm not
disabilities.
sure, why is that even a legitimate?
It's a federal guideline. So even the
Because
state
we're
can't.
talking different kids each year too. I mean, I don't know how that, we can't control which ones qualify for that.
Right. So if we have over 1% of our population who meet that significant guideline, yeah, we have to. And it's 3 through 10 that take it. 3 through 8, and then our sophomores take it, so.
You went through this pretty fast on the data. About 10 years ago, about 10 years ago, we were threatened by the state because we were way behind. And this is a big deal. Thank you for how I say it all. Thank you.
Any questions?
This is based on data they pull from last school year. So these are things that they have proactively already been working on throughout the school year to have an impact in the areas of growth or needs they identified. They've been working on throughout the year.
That item wasn't informed. So we'll keep going down the agenda, and we're down to finances. Philip, we have some donations.
Yes, I ask the board to approve the following donations. Giving Grace $3,000 to the Jennings County School Corporation negative lunch balances. Mike Wascom, a GE washer and dryer combo valued at $1,300 to Hayden Elementary. MBIC $150 grant to Hayden and North Vernon for Tiffany Thurston's multilingual students for their Thanksgiving feast. Eden Salon and Spa, Carrie Bright and Paley Ertl, $1,500 to the Jennings County High School Student Help Fund. And Jennings County High School donations to the Jennings County High School Panther Pantry, 6 boxes of food items from the Alert Methodist Church, 6 boxes of food items from the New Bethel Methodist Church, and 2 cases of eggs from Rose Acres. And Jennings County High School donations for the junior class prom, $250 from ETC Systems, $100 from Pettit Sales, $100 from Greg Hicks State Farm Insurance, $250 Dave O'Mara Contractor, $250 Theobald Management Incorporated, doing business as Wendy's, and the Sand Creek staff, $166 to the Hope Food Program.
Entertain a motion to accept those donations as read.
So moved.
Motion by Pat, do I have a second? Second by Mary Lynn, any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. And then it looks like we're down under other.
One other tonight, January's Public School Board Appreciation Month, so just thank you for your service. I especially appreciate this board's dedication to keeping kids first in all your decisions, and I feel like it is a piece of where we're able to make progress and move forward is through that leadership. So thank you for your service, and after we are finished, we have some cookies to share. In your honor.
More cookies, yay.
We didn't eat them all.
Very good, good. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Travis, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Cheryl. All those in favor? 7-0, meeting adjourned.